How you doing?
Hello, Dave. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. It's nice to speak to you.
Yeah, likewise too. So, where are you today? You back at home in Aylesbury, is it?
Yeah. We just live in one of the villages just to the south of Aylesbury. So yeah, we're all locked in now. None of us can go anywhere here for the foreseeable future.
So it's kind of like just a lockdown for everybody.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you can go out to kind of do shopping and things like that, but as of yesterday, all bars, restaurants, gyms, health clubs, anything like that are all closed by law. Nothing can be reopened until the government say so.
It's pretty unprecedented what's happening worldwide, isn't it?
It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is you told me a little bit about what your company was doing,
Yeah.
and how you've adapted, and that's kind of what I'm trying to focus on right now. So,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what you, maybe for any of our audience watching, tell us a little bit about Vonage first. Who is Vonage? You know what? Some of us know the name, but maybe we don't know
Sure.
what you guys do.
Okay. Well, Vonage are the company that provide the world's most powerful cloud-based communication tool. In essence, we provide contact center as a service from a cloud-based operation, which means that it can integrate into all different types of contact center equipment, such as your CRM and account management and billing systems and so on and so forth, without any on-premises hardware. So, in essence, everything is cloud-based. There's no need for a hefty comms room with all the equipment and air conditioning units, etc., that are required. In addition to that, we also provide unified communications, which is a business-to-business communication tool for every type of business, from a single one-man band right the way through to enterprise-sized businesses, for all of their communication needs to the side of their contact center environment.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And tell us what you guys did with your, I believe, was it with your technical support team?
Yeah, so both, in actual fact, our customer care operation and our technical support team that report into myself, we have currently, well, the piece that I'm responsible for is the piece in Wrocław in Poland, in Prague in the Czech Republic, and here in the UK. But this same operation has happened in all of our US businesses as well. So across the world, all of our contact center staff, whether they be technical support engineers or customer care agents, are now all working from their own homes. So this all started last Monday. We did some testing the week before, have ensured that everybody has the correct kind of capability in terms of their in-house network, their broadband speeds, etc. And then using our own tools, we've set them up so everybody is handling customer inquiries in their own home, using our laptop equipment and our cloud-based solution.
So what sort of technology has everybody got? They got a laptop, you said?
Yeah, we've provided everybody with a laptop,
Yeah.
and then VPN access into all of the systems back at their home office or their base office. And then via our own cloud-based technology, we're then able to route calls to them as if they were sat in the contact center or in the help support center, the tech support center.
So you did this all. You had to do this really very very quickly, and you managed to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. The decision for us to do this was made on Thursday, not Thursday of the week before last. So we instantly put the order out to purchase the laptops that we would require, and sent people home on rotas over the following day to ensure that everybody could set up, that they could receive calls, that they had access to all of the systems that they required access to. And then from Monday of this week just past, everybody settled down at home. Everybody knew what their shift pattern was, and logged on as required. And we had we had our busiest week of 2020, but one of our best performing weeks of 2020. So really, really good stuff. And as an actual fact, demonstrated to us a potential opportunity for future operational practices, based upon how successful it's been.
Interesting. So how did the staff take the sudden change in working practices from a centralized contact center to working from home?
Yeah, there's a challenge for everybody, myself included, to suddenly find ourselves isolated in a room on our own, away from all of our work colleagues. So that's been a challenge. Everybody kind of saw the novelty value in it in the first instance. The idea of not having to get up and travel into the office was a bit of a bonus for the first few days. We've had all the usual humorous kind of comments about people that are well dressed for the work environment above the waist. But of course, when we're video conferencing, nobody knows quite what anyone's looking like other than that.
Right.
So there's been some good humour involved. There's been some changes. I've asked everybody in the team to send me photographs of their work environment, and just to keep a bit of fun going in it. So I didn't realise I employed quite so many dogs and teddy bears and cats.
Interesting.
But now realise that I do. But no, it's a challenge. It's something very, very different. None of us perform or enjoy change greatly, and so it's something we've had to adapt to. But everybody recognises it's essential for the well-being of us all.
And did you lose any staff in the process?
Not at all. No, everybody has been really, really good about it. We had a couple of members of staff who didn't have sufficient broadband speed in their home, so we had to put in place some solutions for them, which they're delighted about, because now they've got lovely super fast broadband in their homes. But no, everybody's been really, really on board, and we've put a lot of work, Raj, into ensuring that we keep a team spirit going, that we're all communicating regularly, lots and lots of video conferencing. We're very fortunate that within Vonage, we literally within the last week had launched Vonage Meetings, which is our own proprietary video conferencing service. So we've been able to stress test that, as it were. And I've had a lot of interaction with the teams, so it's worked really, really well.
Oh, that's really good, because I was going to ask you how you manage a remote team, and it sounds like you've got the tools in place to do that already.
Yeah, very much so. And it's been eye-opening for me. It's the opportunity to interact with the entire team, rather than kind of occasional one-on-ones with different people, or stopping people in the centre and having a chat, and the odd corridor conversation. I've actually made it a policy for me over the last week that I attend at least one of the stand-up sessions virtually. So each of the team leads runs their own stand-up sessions, and I'm attending one each day, just so I can really get to see people, check on their well-being, ask them how they are. And make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do for them. And then yesterday, I ran a full, over 3 sessions of full all-hands for our unified communications, care and tech support teams, over Vonage Meetings, enabling us to talk to 8 or 10 people at a time, really get some humour going, have people exchanging stories that have happened over the week. It really has brought the team together, and we have plans next week for 1 or 2 virtual social occasions as well, just to really ensure that everybody's kept in their best mindset, bearing in mind that we recognise nobody can even go out socially from their own homes at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So how are you keeping how else are you keeping your team motivated? You talk about social things and the stand-ups. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing and what you're thinking you're doing.
Okay, well, what we do within Vonage anyway, we provide people with a regular free lunch once a week, so we can't provide that to them while they're in their own homes. So we've set up an account with a well-known delivery company, and so we're arranging for everybody to have their lunches delivered to them at home. On Wednesday, which is when we normally do the free lunch day. We have a drinks night after work on a Friday night in the office, and so we are organising for next week that we will have a virtual happy hour, and get everybody together to share their stories of the week. And we're arranging a 3-site, so everybody from Wrocław in Poland, everybody from Prague, and all of my team from the UK, to do a virtual quiz next week as well, one evening. So it's about understanding. I've kind of really been focusing my efforts on making sure that I understand that my responsibility as their leader is more than just the working hours piece. People are isolated 24/7 right now, and some people are even isolated away from their own family. So we're trying to fill that void as much as I possibly can, to ensure that everybody is fully and well looked after. and we're all making lots and lots of plans for how we're going to properly celebrate this when this terrible time is all over.
Interesting. So I mean, I know you're an amazing leader as well. How are you coping with this sudden change? Because you're always out there talking to people, as you say, meeting them in the contact center. How are you personally adapting to this, apart from being sat in the front of a camera now?
Yeah. But firstly, thanks for saying that. It's very nice of you. But yeah, it's been a real change. It's incredibly difficult. It's opened my eyes to the importance that I take from personal and social interaction and the opportunity to network and meet with people, and then not being able to do that. But I think the thing that's really it's turned my mind on is that I think that over the last 20 or so years, there's been a growing belief that the internet is almost a tool for harm. And I think never before have we seen an opportunity to make the internet a tool for real good, and I think circumstances have brought us to that. And I, like many fathers, have spent a lot of time talking to my children over the years about the amount of screen time and get your face out of that screen. And now I'm realising that they were right and I was wrong. As I spend a great deal of time now interacting with more people on a daily basis than I guess I normally would do, with more value, because I'm having to make the time to do it over a screen, and so there's purpose put into every conversation, and yeah, it's been a challenge, but one that I'm enjoying at the moment. Ask me again in a couple of months.
Excellent. I'm not going to ask you to stand up, by the way. But talking about, you have been in this industry like myself for a very long time. Have you ever seen anything like the mad scramble that has happened in the past few days, past few weeks?
I think what's been really different about this than any other challenge that we've had previously is that there was almost no opportunity to prepare for this. We all had our business continuity plans and our disaster recovery plans, and my goodness, have we had to put them to test. But the only thing that I can think of that is even remotely comparable was all of the planning and work that we did prior to Y2K and the turning of the century into a new millennium. Back in December 1999 and January 2000. But we planned for that for well in advance of a year to make sure we were ready for that. This has been really quite shocking. This is something that's come out of nowhere, that's going to last for an extended period of time. So even where we've seen huge spikes in activity driven by major disasters or natural disasters, I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like this, because of the speed at which it hit, the enormity of the problem, and the length of time we feel it's going to last.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's kind of a very unsettling period for a lot of people out there right now as well. But you've taken you've taken your model. It's worked very well. What other tips would you give to other organisations out there who are really struggling with, well, how do we do this? What do we do? How do we go about sending everybody home? And we're forced to in many cases, but what advice would you give to other companies who are in that dilemma and that they're really unsure about which way to go or what to do or what to buy, how to manage people?
Sure. Well, look, I mean, I think the most important thing right now is that we all have to recognise that at this moment in time, our competitiveness and our commercial nature of our businesses has to be put to one side. Everyone needs to have a degree of forbearance on each other. So, ask questions, ask people in the marketplace. There are so many people so eager to help everyone in other parts of the industry. I personally am more than happy to communicate and offer advice and help to anybody that I possibly can if they wish to reach out to me, and I'm not alone in that. So I think the first message is use your network, talk to people, find out who can help you. The tools exist to enable you to do this. I myself work for a company that can provide those tools. This isn't an advert, Raj, but we at Vonage are actually offering at the moment a free service to people if they want to facilitate setting up home working for both their telephony and for their messaging and for their video conferencing services. So please, if people need to, reach out to us and we'll be happy to try and help. It's important that we all help each other at this time. But over and above that, I think the biggest piece of advice I'd give is once you've got people working remotely, once you've got your operation stabilised, above all else, keep talking to your staff, make use of the skills, speak to staff multiple times a day, make sure everybody's okay, get them talking to one another, set up Slack channels and other communication devices just to make sure that the community continues and the team spirit is held strong.
Interesting. Really, really good advice there. And from all of us to you, Dave, we wish you well. You've done an amazing job there. We all knew that you guys would come out good on this. Do you think there is still an opportunity for you when this is all over to maybe go back to that sort of centralized office, or do you think you're going to have a hybrid model, some working remotely, some centralised office, or do you think
I think
you'll
that's a
just
fantastic
eventually stay
question,
all
and one that
working from
I've been
home?
asking myself over the last 2 or 3 days. Before we made this move, one of the things I'd said with the rest of my leadership team was, this is an opportunity for people to prove to us that this is working. So let's take it as an opportunity. And if it works, it will give us so much opportunity to work differently in the future. And if it doesn't, we'll know that it was never going to be the right thing. Well, it's worked brilliantly. I don't foresee a future where we will entirely remotely work. I think there will always be a requirement to keep the contact centre environment. I think for the good of everybody, that's the right answer. But I think what this has already taught me is that there is a massive opportunity for flexibility, and this is going to help the marketplace and the industry expand in directions that we perhaps had never really thought about previously.
Excellent. This is really good stuff, Dave. And all credit to you and your team. You've done a fantastic job. Stay safe. Keep on doing what you're doing. And I certainly know from our perspective, I'd be certainly interested in looking at some of the tools that you mentioned. We've been operating a work from home model actually for about 13 years at Contact Centre World. We used to have a central office here in Thunder Bay. And as you know, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere in Canada. And one of the things that we found was we had really nice offices, and 13 years ago we asked ourselves a question, well, we never get any of our customers coming to see us because they're all over the world. We always go and see them. So technology was good at the time, not as advanced as it is now, but technology was good enough, and we said, well, let's all start working from home. And I tell you, for the first little while I was actually scared of telling people I'm working from home, because of the perception that it's, oh, maybe you're a small business. You guys are just a small little cog in a big industry. But I think what's proven to me today is that because we're forced in that dilemma, forced to make that transition, everybody is actually, we have an advantage like you guys do. We've been doing it for long enough. My team are all over the place. Have people in Prague, in the Czech Republic, in Turkey, in Australia, and it can work. There's lessons that we can all learn, and I'd be interested in talking to you about some of the things that you've done separately, some of the ideas that you've put into place, some of the social stuff. Sounds like you've got some really good ideas there that everybody can learn from.
You're very welcome.
I want to say a huge thank you, my friend.
Yeah, and you guys too.